Sweet, fresh meat.
Anne Rice and vampires were about as synonymous as you could get in the 90s and early 2000s. With Interview with the Vampire kicking all sorts of ass, the world was primed for another entry. As Warner Brothers were about to lose the rights to Anne Rice vampire books, they rushed together to mash up two of her novels, The Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned. They adapted both tomes into one single 101-minute film. Now, was this a genius idea or a ploy to use the rights they had paid for and not lose any money? Well, you're here with us now, so I'll let you take a wild guess. Because today on Awfully Good, we're covering Queen of the Damned. Released in February 2002 during the 28 Days of Suck, a month where most film reviewers wanted that sweet release of death. Why, you ask? Well, due to all the films coming out that month being ones that the studios had absolutely no faith in and didn't know what to do with. And more than their fair share of stinkers were released during those cursed 28 days in the early 2000s. Now, Queen of the Damned was not quite as bad as the others that were released around it, but it was not exactly great, or even good, or reasonably decent. You know the drill. Let's see how they merged both The Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned by looking at the film itself. I want to thank you for watching Awfully Good, and ask that if you enjoy our shows, please subscribe to our channel right now, like this video, and click on the bell so you can be notified each time a new video goes up. And now, back to the show. The movie opens on a montage meant to show the passing of time. Lestat has been in his grave, biding his time to return, when he hears music like he's never heard before. No, but can you imagine? And so with the rhythm in his heart, he goes looking for the source. While this happens, he also narrates everything. No, seriously, everything.
It became worthwhile to rise again as new gods were born and worshipped.
Being the turn of the century, we get a very dated attempt at being stylish blue tint. Oh, Marty Byrde would be proud. He gets his first meal, talks, and spooks the band by joining in on their music. They happen to be in his home, and I don't know, just go with it. He comes clean to them, and they accept him as he promises to make them gods. Cut to a music video, the opening credits, and you know what? This song is pretty decent, if not a little dated 20 years later. Now, at a press conference, Lestat is late, only seen on screen. He's charming, he's flirty, he announces the band's one and only concert to take place in Death Valley. Because of course. This is where we get more exposition, something this film does not run out of at any moment. And we move to a remote mansion, where girls are being brought to Lestat by a skeezy manager type. The girls are just so excited to meet their idol. But he's looking for a meal. You'll get a view of how he hunts his prey by charming them, and also another fantastically 2002 song. All we're missing is some Evanescence. Switch to Jessie, our non-vampire lead. She's dreaming. A voice in her dreams tells her more exposition by the way of narration. Why show when you can tell, right? This guy clearly never read any Sid Field. Now, this may be a dream or a memory, hard to tell. Maybe we should get some damn narration to clear it up. She wakes up, we get more music, a music video, more music, and she catches on to something in the song and grabs books for research. Cut to London, the Telemasca, a society studying vampires and their possible lives. Jessie tells them what she's found, only she has somehow crossed the line and gets reprimanded. I mean, she's clearly beyond fascinated. I guess hot vampires will do that to you. She's given Lestat's journal, which she reads aloud, a real thing people do and not just lazy writing. More narration, because, of course, if only there were other ways to display information through a visual medium. If only. We get to see Marius make Lestat a vampire, teaching him how to behave and hunt, and what he can and cannot do. We also get to see some awfully dated CGI. More blue hues. I'm sure Wendy is around here somewhere. As Lestat yearns for company, to be a part of the world, he plays violin and wakes something. He investigates and finds statues. Nothing weird about that, I guess. His music has awoken the queen of the damned. Things get annoyingly flashy, MTV style flashy, a theme for many sequences in this film. Shitty era MTV. Can we please bring back acts like Alice Cooper and Headbangers Ball? Christ. As the queen wakes up, she offers him her blood. He, of course, takes it. Wouldn't want to offend, I guess. Quick cut to Marius being pissed, tying up Lestat and leaving him behind. Then we get, you guessed it, even more narration from Lestat. Back to Jesse, who's at the vampire club with more narration, some pretty cool music, and a bit of a tricky song. Then Jesse leaves and gets attacked in the back street, saved by Lestat. More explanation of what is happening, something this film lacks absolutely none of, because as you can tell, this is just a string of random events loosely tied together by painful narration. Soon after, Jesse heads to LA to go to the concert. Her boss warns her not to. Then, to make sure every idiot from every corner of the world realizes this is LA, we get the Hollywood sign that welcomes all. Go to a mansion, more narration, and more music. Jesus, this movie is just the same stuff over and over. Lestat wakes up feeling something. Marius is there, they talk, and Marius warns him. More music, more Los Angeles, all increasingly looking more and more like a music video. Oh, and we get an actual music video again. Back to London at the bar, Aaliyah finally makes her grand entrance as the Queen of the Damned. She has got such a presence to her. She looks stunning, shows her power, dances, more music, bad CGI, but you just cannot look away from her. But then we're back to Lestat, when we get even more narration. Off to Times Square, Lestat on the big screen, unhappy vampires watching, back to LA, and the skeevy dude takes girls to Lestat. One just happens to be Jesse. They get to know each other a bit more. She wants to be a vampire. He shows her the city and his life. Sorta. She changes her mind. Ouch. God, this movie. Death Valley is this massive concert, much better than Firefest, but maybe not better than Coachella. At least no holograms of dead legends. Not yet, at least. Jesse's in the crowd, and the band and Lestat arrive. Other vampires are all over the place, and we get a performance. This is a concert shot like it's the late 90s with extra special effects to make Lestat fly. We get plenty of crowd scenes, vampires, and then boom, attack on Lestat and his band. General mayhem ensues. But it still doesn't quite live up to Woodstock 99. Akasha shows up, causes more mayhem, and she flies off with Lestat. Next, we get to spend some time with Akasha and Lestat, and they're clearly rushing things. The now well-known bath sequence happens. It's pretty, it's somewhat romantic, but it does feel off. Back to the desert in an underground mansion. Maharat is there with her people, and they have Jesse there. She explains that she's a vampire, and who exactly Jesse is. Back to Lestat. He wakes up and can walk in the sun now. Ah, short-lived happiness. God, I miss that. Then we get to see so many bodies. Akasha has been hungry and very, very busy. She's clearly ruthless. And a badass. Why have we not been spending the whole time with her? Back to Jesse, where we get an explanation of how to kill Akasha, who arrives with Lestat. Lestat is ordered to kill Jesse, and things move both fast and slow simultaneously. Something this film makes quite the habit of. Impressive that I can be both bored and confused with this snappy pace. Well done, boys. There's a face-off, things escalate, the good vampires attack Akasha, she's drained, then she's finished off and becomes a statue. Lestat saves Jesse and turns her. We get even more bad CGI. Yay. Then we arrive in London. It's clearly the end of the film. Jesse and Lestat visit her boss, return the journal, and leave. Marius shows up to have a bit of fun with the man. Jesse and Lestat are seen walking towards Big Ben, people in cars going really fast around them. Clearly meant to show the passing of time, except it's all super MTV style. But now we're finally at the best part. The fade to black. This movie is finally over. Thank fucking God. In loving memory of Aaliyah shows on the screen, and then the credits roll, and we get 2 more songs because life just isn't fair and time is a cruel bitch. If it seems like a lot of stuff crammed into one movie, it's because it is. The fact that this 101-minute film is the merging of these fairly large books with a ton of lore and so many different settings, and it's not as big of a surprise. There was a lot to use here, and they decided to use a ton of it, though not necessarily to the film's advantage. There is a ton of plot crammed in there, and it definitely could have been split into 2 or more stories just to be able to give it a little more room. The soundtrack is fairly strong, with Jonathan Davis of Korn providing songs that are basically perfect for the film, written exactly for Lestat and for the plot. As usual, let's turn this one into a drinking game. It's definitely a bit of a party movie with all the music, the nightclub scenes, and the concert, so this one shouldn't be tough. Let's see how to make this fun. First up is the lightweight. With your drink of choice, take a few sips every time you get to see a montage. There are a few, including at the opening and the closing, so you'll have a nice time pacing yourself. Hold my beer. For the beer drinkers, take a few sips every time the film feeds us a song. There are so many that it's more of an extended music video than an actual movie, so please pace yourself. This is why it's beer and not liquor. The Talamaskin. With your wine of choice, take a sip every time narration is there to help the viewer along and basically tell the story instead of actually showing it. The Vampire. Get that red wine of choice. French if you're a Marius fan. The darker the better. This one is all about the arts. Drink when they show paintings of Marius and by Marius. You can also have some to Lestat's health when he is shown playing the violin. This could get you pretty tipsy early on. The Undead. Take a shot when a vampire feeds. There is enough here to help you get undead yourself, but it's not quite as much as you'd think for a vampire movie. Keep this to a specific kind of blood drinking if you don't want to end up blackout drunk. Some may be tempted to turn this film into a karaoke night, and if that floats your boat, go for it. However, most folks may be more about trivia, so here are a few trivia bits for you. The film was nominated for 7 awards, including a bizarre selection for Best Film at the Saturn Awards. Aaliyah herself was posthumously nominated for Best Actress for her portrayal of Akasha by the BET Awards, the Chainsaw Awards, and the MTV Awards. Of those 7 nominations, the film had 0 wins. Queen of the Dam was director Michael Reimer's 5th feature film. He has since directed mostly for television, including the incredible Battlestar Galactica, so I'm not sure what went wrong here. This was Aaliyah's 2nd film after Romeo Must Die, and unfortunately her last. Aaliyah passed away in a plane accident while the film was in post-production, blocking her capacity to do ADR or any retakes. Aaliyah is top billed but only has 26 minutes of screen time. While the film is titled after her character, it is definitely more about Lestat. Thanks to technology and Aaliyah's brother Rashad Houghton, her missing lines were redubbed. The film had an estimated budget of $35 million and made $45.5 million total at the US and international box office. A quarry in Werribee, Australia was actually used as a stand-in for Death Valley. After Tom Cruise declined to return as Lestat, actors Wes Bentley, Heath Ledger, and Josh Hartnett were all considered for the part. Stuart Townsend was chosen after he was released from Lord of the Rings due to being too young for the part of Aragorn. Jonathan Davis's cameo was actually improvised, and his offer of show tickets to Marguerite Moreau was also ad-libbed, with her reaction being genuine. Some of the fake blood in scenes with Akasha was actually cherry juice. Akasha is not shown biting people on the neck, only on other parts of their body, and killing them in other ways, like pulling their hearts out and turning them to ash. So with all this said, why exactly is this awfully good? This is one of the films that suffers from being 20 years old while also trying to capture the moment of the early 2000s. Only it's clear now how awkward that decade was. The wardrobe in particular is certainly special, if not beautifully awful. The music is excellent, even if some will think it's very dated and bad. You are wrong. The performances are mostly decent, but definitely nothing to write home about, except for maybe Aaliyah. The queen herself is absolutely gorgeous here, and has such a presence. Lestat, while charming, comes off a bit like a bitch, but that could be due to the writing or just the style of the film. Near Dark, this is not. Overall, the movie is not great in any way, shape, or form, but it's a lot of fun and should be watched with friends at top volume. On a scale from Salva to Corman, I'm feeling a bit nostalgic. It'll happen to you too, don't worry. So I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. So while this may not have been great, it is actually still pretty entertaining. Plus, I mean, just keep an eye out for those damn narrations.